or holder over a specified period of time to use, manufacture, and sell a product or process without interference or infringement by others. A patent may also be registered in foreign countries after authorization from the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines. So if you have the patent, exclusive right over your product, this will not be, what do you call that? You will be protected from others, no? Who will be using your product without your permission. So we have here two types of patent, product patent and process patent. So for product patent, this covers, this will cover actual physical products while, ano yan? Okay, while process patents, this govern the process of making products. Under Republic Act 8293, the legal life of a patent is 20. No? So if you are not provided the useful life, you simply use the legal life. But you have to amortize it. The rule is you have to amortize the intangible asset over the useful life or legal life, whichever is shorter. Okay, so you simply choose the shorter year between the legal life and useful life. Patents are non-renewable. Therefore, they are to be amortized over either the legal life or useful life, whichever is shorter. Okay, now the cost of patents will depend how they are acquired, no? So similar to your PPE. So when they are acquired through purchase, the cost will include the purchase price and directly attributable costs, all necessary costs before they are put to use. How about for those internally generated patents? Only legal and registration costs will be part of the cost of the patent. And then all other costs incurred prior to the registration will be recorded as an expense. Now, for the amortization of patent, we amortize the patent over the shorter of its useful life and legal life. So if a patent is acquired through purchase, the cost is amortized over the shorter between the useful life and legal life. Now, take note for the following. So there are three cases here. This is the first case. This is the second case. This is new patent, or we call it related patent. For related patent, the cost of the new patent plus the carrying amount of the old patent will be amortized over the extended life. Take note for that. The third case is for competitive patent. The cost of competitive patent will be amortized over the remaining life of the original patent. Okay? Number 3, trademark or trade name. So you are familiar with this because this will be symbols, phrases, words, or it may be a sound, no, that represents or identify a particular company or product. So under common law, the right to use a trademark or trade name, whether registered or not, rests exclusively with the original user as long as the original user continues to use it. Registration with the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines or its equivalent for international registration provides legal protection for an indefinite number of renewals for periods of 10 years each. Okay, although the life is 10 years, it is renewable. This is tantamount to have an indefinite number. Therefore, trademark or trade name is not to be amortized, similar to goodwill. It will be tested only for impairment. So brands, brand names, trademarks, and trade names, these are all used interchangeably. However, the former are general marketing terms that are typically used to refer to a group of complementary assets such as a trademark or service mark and its related trade name, formulas, recipes, and technological expertise. Trademarks can be associated with brand names, while trade names can be associated to company names. So trademark is a device which can take almost any form as long as it is as. Oh, asan na yun? As long as it is capable of identifying and distinguishing specific goods or services. Trademarks may be letters and words, logos, pictures, a combination of words and logo, slogans, colors, product shapes, and sounds. So we have examples of trade names or trademarks here. You are familiar with this. You always see them. Okay, so we have examples. Sign. We have words, letters, numbers, drawings, miscellaneous, uh, emblems, colors or combination of colors, shape of goods, graphic representation or packaging, and then sound. So these are examples of brands or trade names. Okay, now what will be the cost of the trademark? The cost of trademarks when acquired will also include purchase price and direct attributable costs. For internally generated or internally created trademarks, it will comprise all directly attributable costs necessary to create, produce, and prepare the asset to be capable of operating in the manner intended by management. But for trademarks considered having indefinite useful lives, they are not amortized, as I mentioned earlier, but tested for impairment at least annually. For subsequent periods, they are to be recorded as expense. Okay, next intangible asset is copyright. This is also a grant or it is a right granted by the government to authors, painters, musicians, sculptors, and other artists that have in their creations and in their creations and expressions. It gives the owner or heirs the exclusive right to reproduce and sell in artistic or published work. Under the Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines, it has a legal life equal to the lifetime of the creator plus 50 years after his death. So copyrights are not renewable. Therefore, we amortize it over their useful life, or it may be uh, the output of the artist or the author. Now, the cost of copyright is amortized over its useful life. If the useful life of the copyright cannot be determined reliably, the cost of copyright is expense against the revenue. Okay, it will be, you simply determine the production. No? It may be in number of copies of books. It may be also the number of artwork. So that will be allocated. The cost will be allocated over the useful life. Okay, next we have franchise. This is a contractual arrangement under which the franchisor grants the franchisee the right to sell certain products or services, to use certain trademarks or trade names, or to perform certain functions, usually within a designated geographical area. So there are two types of franchises. It may be a contract between two private entities or individuals. Okay, it may be a contract between a private entity or an individual and the government. And franchises and licenses may be for a definite period of time or for an indefinite period of time. So for franchises that have definite life, it will be amortized over its useful life. But if it has an indefinite life, it is not amortized but tested for impairment, similar to goodwill and trade name or trademark. Now, what will be the franchise cost? So there will be two costs here. Initial cost, initial franchise fee, and then we have periodic franchise fee. Yung initial franchise fee will be capitalized. It will be charged to franchise, while periodic franchise fee will be charged to expense. Okay, dalawa lang yan. Then the last one, computer software. This is a generic term for organized collection of computer data and instruction often broken into two major categories. So system software and application software. So system software provides the basic non-task specific functions of the computer. Example is Microsoft Windows. While application software, this is used by users to accomplish specific tasks as Microsoft Office. Okay. Now for the cost of computer software, again, it may be, there are two ways of acquiring computer software, through purchase or self-creation. If the software is acquired and it is an integral part of the PPE acquired, it is not recognized as intangible asset, but it will be PPE. For example, operating system software, example, Microsoft Windows, Mac OS, Linux, or used in conjunction with the computer is part of PPE. Now, how about if software is acquired to be used for licensing or rental to others? They are recognized as intangible asset. Examples, self-created gaming software, educational software, driver software, media software like your SAP, no? That will be considered as an intangible asset because it was bought separately from the PPE. And then number 3, software acquired to be used internally is recognized as intangible assets. So there are companies that usually purchase softwares to facilitate the transactions within their unit. Okay? And then number 4, software reproduced from product masters or those purchased for resale are considered as inventory. So there are 3 treatments for computer software. It may be PPE, if it was bought as part of the PPE bought. It may be an intangible asset, or it may be an inventory. So yun ang tatlong treatments ng computer software. Now, what will be the cost of the computer software? The same. It will include the purchase price and then directly attributable costs. Now, with regards to internally generated or internally created software, so we have the following guidelines, research and development cost before. So you have your terms here, before, after. If you see the term before, if the cost is incurred before technological feasibility, that will be expense. Research and development expense siya. But if the development cost is incurred after technological feasibility, that will be classified as intangible asset. Okay, next, technological feasibility is established when the company has completed either a detailed program design or B, working model. And then cost of reproducing or duplicating software from product masters and cost of packaging are recognized as inventory. Cost of training, they are recognized as expense. So how do we amortize software costs? Software costs recognized as intangible assets, again, are amortized over their useful lives using an amortization method. Usually, we use the straight line method. Okay, so we are done with important concepts on identifiable intangible assets. So this time we will illustrate these intangible assets for better understanding.